Oh, Ruby Manhattan's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. Oh, Ruby streams with laughter bright. By the glowing screen we set our sight. From fantasy realms to FPS fight, every stream is pure delight. Heave-ho, Ruby Manhattan's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. On the ocean wide, in the game raft, we build and float through the stormy draft, gathering scraps, crafting our craft. In Ruby's stream we share a laugh. Heave-ho, Ruby Manhattan's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. With a hat so mad and a heart so grand, Ruby guides us through this digital land. In the chat we cheer and make a stand for the finest streams in all the land. Heave-ho, Ruby Manhattan's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. So hoist the sails and spread the word. Rubies live, haven't you heard? Join the crew, be undeterred. In the Mad Hatter's world, we all get stirred. Heave-ho, Ruby Manhattan's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. So hoist the sails and spread the word. Rubies live, haven't you heard? Join the crew, be undeterred. In the Mad Hatter's world, we all get stirred. Heave-ho, Ruby Manhattan's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. Hatters live on Twitch we sail. Come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm let the fun unfold. Oh, Ruby streams with laughter bright. By the glowing screen we set our sight. From fantasy realms to Etheus fight, every stream is pure delight. Heave-ho, Ruby, Mad Hatters alive. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. On the ocean wide in the game raft, we build and float through the stormy draft. Gathering scraps, crafting our craft. In Ruby's stream we share a laugh. Heave-ho, Ruby, Mad Hatters alive. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. With a hat so mad and a heart so grand, Ruby guides us through this digital land. In the chat we cheer and make a stand for the finest streams in all the land. Heave-ho, Ruby, Mad Hatters alive. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. So hoist the sails and spread the word. Rubies live, haven't you heard? Join the crew, be undeterred. In the Mad Hatter's world, we all get stirred. Heave-ho, Ruby, Mad Hatters alive. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. The sails and spread the word. Rubies live, haven't you heard? Join the crew, be undeterred. In the Mad Hatter's world, we all get stirred. Heave-ho, Ruby, Mad Hatters alive. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold.
Alright, hello everyone! Simply Dragons, thanks for stopping by today. We'll tab you up and work. I gotta go work. I hope your stream goes great. Yeah, thanks! And we got CP Gray. Spyro's like, this song is a banger. Thank you! I'm so glad that I got someone to make it for me. That was a wild time for that one. Wouldn't you agree, Gamera?
Yeah.
That was the Ruby's Raft one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like, holy shit, man. Oh, that was something else. Alright, so before we get into the thick of what we're doing today, I'm going to make a couple quick announcements, and then we're going to get into the talk. Announcement number one is our sponsors. We got Shocked by Gaming Servers and W Energy Drinks. They're both really good sponsors. I use them whenever I can afford them, essentially. And I've had very little issues with Shockbite. Usually when there has been a problem, they've usually been pretty good at communicating with us within 24 to 48 hours. I will say that. And then for W Energy Drinks, they have caffeinated and non-caffeinated versions of their energy drinks. And they don't give me the shakes. That is one big thing I've run into the few energy drinks I've tried that are non-caffeine. My hand shakes.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't like that. Like, no. My hand's not supposed to shake for like another 20 years. Like, fuck that noise. I'm not that old yet. Speaking of old, Gamera, may I ask a question? You don't have to say the year, but were you born before 1979?
Yes, barely.
Barely. You are older than the Happy Meal.
That's funny.
Does that hurt you at least a little?
It does. On a kind of similar note, a while back I was watching some tapes from my childhood. Like, there's a little local, I guess you call it like one of those cartoon shows where you have kids on and the local weatherman dresses up like a clown and, you know, plays old cartoons.
Oh,
and I was on one of those actually a couple of times when I was younger, and my parents had a tape of one from when I was like 5 or 6 and on this local cartoon show. And I was kind of rewatching that and being fascinated by it. And some of the commercials that came on there, one of them was, I think, introducing fruit by the foot. And just hearing the words introducing fruit by the foot, I just sort of withered like those Nazis in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just like,
no.
ah!
I am suddenly old now. Fuck. God damn.
Oh no.
Yeah, like, I realized I am a few years younger than the Happy Meal, but that still hurts, because it's like...
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is like, fuck. Alright, so there is that. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Because I actually found some pictures of some of the things I'm going to point the fuck out here. Because, oh my god. But
Welcome, traveler.
I figured, Gamera, you would like to talk about your fun little trek into, what was it, the lands of Ohio?
Yes, the lands
no,
of
not
Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh, give me a second. Nugget Chick 99416. Thank you for joining the tavern. Pull up a chair, grab yourself a mug of ale, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern.
It never works.
I know it never works. Just makes me glad that I'm a battlesmith artificer, because I have a bunch of golems to fix shit.
So you're saying we should try harder?
No! No, don't do that.
No, don't try harder. Also, hello, Autodex. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you for the follow, and please be sure to browse around. I may not be at my store currently, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy your time here with us at the tavern.
Oh, yes.
But yes, I recently returned from the wilds of Columbus, Ohio, where I was attending the Origins Game Fair.
Go to your room.
I have basically attended that every year they've had it since 1998, except 1 year I had a summer job. But yeah, since then I haven't missed one since 2000. So I went 98, 99, and then an unbroken streak from 2001. Obviously, they didn't have it in 2020 for, you know, reasons.
Reasons.
But if they've had it, I've been there.
All right. By the way, audience, let me know if Gamera or Umbra is too quiet.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying to modify the volume to where it says it's not blasting people's eardrums.
But the convention was great. Lots of games and things that I got to try out. I got to try out Pathfinder 2 for the first actual practical hands-on playing, which was really cool. I got to try one called Dragonbane, which is kind of an import of a Swedish RPG that's sort of derived from Rollmaster. So it's kind of like, you know, your Dungeons and Dragons, except there are no levels. The way you get better at things is by improving your skills.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Much flatter
that
power.
That feels like a good idea.
Well, you know, it depends on the kind of feel of fantasy you want. If you have a flatter power curve with like a skill-based system, you know, you don't necessarily get epic fantasy in the sense of, you know, I'm going to go up and punch God in the face, and then I'm going to stab him with my sword. But you do get a little more like the Conan gritty, down-to-earth fantasy, even though there's still, like, you know, magic and stuff. you are literally in danger the whole time.
Low fantasy.
I would say low to medium. We the session that I was in for Dragonbane, we basically, the story was that there's this tower that rises out of the sea. It once a month for a couple of hours. You have 2 hours to raid it and get the hell out to safety.
All right.
So
sorry, I'm going to interrupt just for a quick second. Sean McNeil, thank you for the 108 bits for Biddy the Owlbear. He'll love to play with those, and he'll probably snack on them later. Thanks, man.
But anyway, yeah, the tower raises out of the sea, and so we went in with an adventuring party, and long story short, we found our way to a second floor area that was a library. And this library had a bunch of books and a ghost librarian. And the ghost librarian was fine with us looking or touching any of the books except for 3 special tomes, which naturally the party sort of came to a consensus that that's the 3 that we wanted to have. So one of the party members, quite on his own and without coordinating with the rest of us, set a fire in one of the most distant parts of the library, basically lit his torch, shoved it in a bookshelf so that it would burn down and light the things on fire in a couple of minutes. Once the fire starts, the ghost goes to check it out. He sprints by, grabs one of the books, and starts making for the rope we have out the window. And so he starts heading down. And then the next person in line was like, well, I'm going to grab one and head for the rope. And then I was playing the halfling thief, and I'm like, oh, are we doing a burn and grab? Okay.
This is a great opportunity for slaughter.
We basically did not do any damage to the ghost. We essentially went into full retreat when the ghost started coming back angry.
Yeah, because you burnt down his fucking library. I'd be pissed off too.
I can understand why you might take this a little personally.
Yeah, just a little.
I take this very personally.
You'll be happy to know that the instigator of this whole mess leapt down the rope and basically fumbled his acrobatics check. He fell off the rope, plunging to the stones at the base of the tower, and died instantly. I think the GM rolled and it was something like 300 damage and he had like 20 hit points.
Jesus!
It was a
Oh,
mess.
thank God.
He cushioned the book's fall, fortunately.
Yeah.
Luckily, the book survived. Yes, because that's the important thing.
The second person was our elf ranger, and the elf ranger was like one of those elves that's just like better than you, and she had a plan to essentially dive out the window to launch herself far enough to get into the water. And she did that, but again, I think she actually literally botched the acrobatics roll. She rolled a 1.
Oh.
And so basically what the GM ruled happened was, you're dying as a result of this roll, but it's going to be funny because basically a sea serpent passing by snapped her up in midair, so she plunged into the creature's mouth. I was the third one of our 5 party members to the rope. I got down safely and escaped with my book and the book from the splattered guy. One of the books ended up in the belly of a sea serpent, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, I think at that point you just pass. It's like, it's his now. It's his book now.
The GM said that we were the only group to escape with at least 2 out of the 3 of the books at the point of the ones that he had run. So, we did good despite having, 2 fatalities.
That's almost frightening in a way.
Yeah.
I'm at least glad that the ghost got some revenge. Because, fuck y'all. Y'all... This is what happened at Alexandria. This is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Oh, you're not getting away from me, Knight. You're going to die. No, there we go. Apologies, I am playing a little pocket necromancer game.
I will say the Final Fantasy I'm playing right now, 14, this is the last week before the next expansion comes out for early access. So, earning a little bit of gil before I get into, the new expansion. Because
Just
right
a
now,
little bit.
well, I mean, I only have 3 million gil right now, which is, I'm gonna be brutally honest, comparative to other players, not that much.
Yeah, I know. It's MMO logic. Oh, I only have 3 million. It's not that. It's not that good.
Yeah, it's like, well, fuck. Oh my god. Oh, so, okay, so aside from, you know, the robbery that went wrong, well, the great book heist of, you know, Splatterfest there or something. What else did you get into? You said you tried, was that the Pathfinder game or was that the other one?
That was Dragonbane. The Pathfinder game was really short, like a 2-hour. Hang on a sec. Someone I'm talking to is asking for a link to your stream, so I'm going to
Okay.
pass that along.
I will give Farrah Freyer some answer to her question. Did you get early access? I do have early access. My early access starts Friday.
Excellent.
Because I got the collector's edition back in the day.
No, don't you dare. Fucking, dirty peasants.
Let's see. Yeah, so the Dragonbane one was a 2-hour session. The Pathfinder one was, I believe, a 1 or 2 hour session. That was, you know, basically just you're hired on as caravan guards. You deal with this combat encounter. Caravan gets safely where it's going. It was a very brief little, actually organized Pathfinder game, but they did allow people who are not part of the organized play structure to participate. And I just use a pre-gen character, Valeros, the iconic fighter.
See, the problem I've had with the quote-unquote organized play, or aka Pathfinder Society,
Yep.
I remember Eric was at the game once, so I don't know about him, because I haven't played with him other than there. Okay?
Mhm.
But every other Pathfinder Society player I've ever played with is 100% brick level stupid.
Oh no, not the bricks.
Oh my dear Christ. I had 3 of them show up to my, like, in-person game once. Alright?
Mhm.
One of them didn't even know where things were on the character sheet. They didn't know how to really play that well. And I was like, oh, so you're a newer player? And they're like, no, I've been playing for years. And I'm like,
What?
how have you been playing for years if you don't know where shit is on your character sheet?
Yeah.
And they went, well, my boyfriend always made the character for me. And I looked over and their boyfriend was there. And I'm like, okay. And I go, so what kind of a player are you? Like, why do you always build their sheets? And they're like, oh, they never built their sheet right. So I do it for them so that way their character is actually decent. And this motherfucker was a power gamer to a unhealthy level.
Yeah.
It was just like, Jesus Christ. And that annoyed.
Ow.
Yeah, that
That's a
annoyed
lot
the
of
shit.
people.
That annoyed the shit out of me.
I died.
And it was just like, oh my god, how are you this level of incompetent? Because, like, he could not play nice with the rest of the group. Just couldn't do it.
I have heard other stories of organized play Pathfinder folks working like that. I will say that the group that I ended up with, 4 of them, I think, knew each other, or maybe 5 of them. Literally might have been I was the only person at that table that was not a part of their group, because most of them seemed to know each other. And most of them did have, like, you know, organized play numbers, so they are participating in it in the long term. It was all first level characters, though, and here's the one weird thing about it. Of our party, I was playing, as I said, the iconic fighter Valeros, who is or Valeros, who is human fighter. We had a dwarf fighter, and then the other 4 characters, I shit you not, were all kineticists. We had 2 fighters and 4 kineticists.
All right, I'll respond to that here in a minute. I can answer Freyer for a second. Are you going to be the new classes? I'm going to give Viper, I think, or is it Corsair, or whatever the fuck the dual sword class is. I'm going to give that one a try. Pictomancer can fuck the hell right off. Alright, I have 0 interest in basically playing a character who draws like my 8-year-old does. and that is their fucking function of their class.
Isn't that just a character from Naruto?
Essentially.
I forget what his name is.
Now,
Sai?
something like that, I think. I don't remember. I know that the Saber or Viper class, whatever it's called, they were inspired by Sword Art Online.
Ew.
Yeah, Yoshi P admitted that the inspiration for that class was Sword Art Online, Kirito in particular.
Ew. Why would you use that? There's so many. Bleach is so much better.
Don't ask me, man. I don't try to make logic of this.
Ugh, it's so bad.
But yeah. But I have zero interest in Pictomancer at all. I'll give, like I said, the Viper Saber class a chance and see if I like it better than Reaper. But I just like Reaper because of its aesthetics. Like, its abilities just look beautiful, and they're just fun to watch.
Yeah.
And there's not really much of a difference between Reaper and Samurai in terms of gameplay. Like, they have some, like, minor differences, but, like, essentially, generally, you're doing the same thing. You're basically playing a melee DPS class that has zero support capabilities.
Yeah.
Which is all well and good as long as you can dish out the pain. As long as you can do your main job, you are doing well. Ah, Freyr, I figured you would be a Reaper. Is that your main? I wonder if that's their main. Anyway, to finish the story, though, remember I said I had 3 players.
Yes.
The third player knew where things were on the character sheet, so they were the best of the 3. Because they at least worked with the party somewhat. But they were... they knew where things were on the character sheet. They knew kind of how to level their character, but it took them a while to do it. They're a little slow in the process. So, like, they were the type of player that they had to have their character leveled before game started. Or they'd be doing it for, like, over an hour.
Gotcha.
The biggest problem they had was they didn't like the fact that there wasn't a fight every single session.
Oh, one of those types.
Yeah.
They needed to fight something every session because in a lot of organized play, that happens. There's at least one combat every session.
That's, I mean, depending on the length of your sessions, I can see having at least a token combat almost every session, but I mean, I do occasionally like to have a session that's just all role-playing and talking, you know?
Yeah, well, like, you know me. I don't do combat unless there's a reason to do combat. I just don't do, like, a random fight, usually. Or if you're traveling in an area where random encounters can happen, I still roll for it, but it's, you know, I like to plan out ahead the combats, at least a little.
Sure.
And this person just could not take that. They wanted more random combats, they wanted more fighting, and it just didn't mesh. They weren't a complete dick about it, but, at least to me, but they were a dick to 3 other players. In particular, Anne was one they were kind of a dick towards. Alex was another, and Mark was the third. Because they got upset at Anne because Anne didn't seem to play the way she should be playing according to them.
Yeah, I was going to say, quote-unquote, should.
Should, yeah. In this case, dude was a little bit on the chauvinistic side, let's just put it that way.
Oh,
alright. But he did, what got me to remove him from the game was, he dropped the R word.
Oh, yeah, that's...
And he said it to Alex and Mark.
Ooh, that's... Yeah, no, that's something you do with, like, express permission from the group. And even then, that's like a very serious thing that you
Yeah.
use.
Now, he didn't say it to their face. He kind of took me aside and asked if they were our word.
Oh. Like that makes it better, but
yeah, no, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was just like, what the fuck, my dude?
My brother in Christ, that's not okay.
Yeah, my brother in Paylor, what is with you? Like, fuck off. Oh my god, it was bad. So, that has been my experience with the organized play people. The only other 2 organized play people I've run into, I will say their first names. I will not say their last names. They're known as Sean and Chris. I first ran into them with WAD games, like the WAD LARP games in Morgantown. And they were running a Pathfinder game, and I found out they were in Pathfinder Society, and oh boy, did they have some thoughts on what each class should and should not be doing.
I'll bet.
And what made it even worse was we had a gentleman in the game named Andy. Andy at the time was going for law school, and the reason why I mention that is because think about the implications on that one.
Oh, was he trying to be a rules lawyer?
Yep, not only rules lawyer out of game, rules lawyer in game, as he played a lawful, stupid paladin.
Oh no, not the lawful stupid.
Oh my god, that drove me up a wall, because, like, we ran into a hag who had developed a relationship with a normal human being. We had found no evidence, zero, that that she had done anything to the guy, to the human. All right, like, they lived out in the middle of nowhere. They were kind of like keeping to themselves. They were peaceful. All right, and so we're like, she's like, yeah, my husband got murdered. I don't know by what, because I wasn't home, she said. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. And we asked her, like, can you prove that you weren't home, things of that nature? And she held up like a basket of herbs, saying, I've been collecting these all day. We had a ranger or druid in the party, and they were able to determine that, yeah, those herbs had been collected that day. So I felt like...
Okay, so doing everything right for like a detective type thing.
What?
Danny wants to find his rabbit, but he can't find it.
Find it for him then, please. Oh my god. All
I
right.
think it's in the storage.
Just go. Ask mommy or do something. Please stop. Sorry, kids.
You're good, man. You're good.
So yeah, we did all our what we felt was due diligence. Most of our party.
Yeah.
He wanted to bring her back to the town.
That's
The-
sad.
All right.
The town,
Oh wait.
as in the area that people don't like hags and would try to kill her on sight.
Yeah, pretty much. And he wanted to bring her to town, like it was a small city, in order for her to be brought up on trial to prove her innocence.
That-
And the rest of us, like, I was playing a fighter. I was playing a human fighter I had the adopted trait, and my character was adopted by dwarves. All right, so I was also lawful-ish. Like, I had certain things that I followed, but, like, I wasn't lawful good. I was lawful neutral. Like, my character...
Yeah, you were like by the spirit of the law, not the intent of the law.
Oh, no, not even that. Like, my character's like, I'm a relatively good person. Like, he was the border of lawful neutral to lawful good. He was relatively a good person, but he understood that reality doesn't always want to bend to your morality.
Right.
And sometimes you have to do some pretty heinous shit in order to help
In the pursuit of justice.
in the pursuit of justice or the greater good.
Okay.
So, like, I was talking with the hag, and I pulled her aside, and like, we went into the woods a little bit while he was arguing with the other party members. And I turned to the DM, and I tell her, it's like, I tell the hag, it's like, look, go into your hag form. She goes, why? I go, just go into your hag form, call me once across the chest. Actually create, like, a wound. And she goes, okay. Then run into the woods, find another like town somewhere to go live near, and live the rest of your life in freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, and she clawed me, all that jazz, and left. And I went back to the other party members, and they're like, "What happened?" I go, "Oh, I went to have a talk with her. She hit me, and she escaped. I think she was honestly just afraid, so on and so forth." Now, mind you, I have no bluff. So the paladin...
So they knew your bullshit.
Yeah, they pretty much most of the party figured out my bullshit. Now, most of the party agreed with my bullshit, except for the paladin. He kind of collectively lost his shit and asked, "What the hell did I do?" And I was like, "You were literally going to take her to the executioners." Like, he goes, "No, we're taking her to get justice." I'm like, "Those people won't see justice. They'll see a hag and immediately kill it."
Exactly. That's
You are not getting it. And I immediately just was like, I let her go. She's going to live her life somewhere else. Sorry, Foe died, but now I'm a paladin main all the way. Oh, that's cool. But when it comes to Deeps, I'm either Dragoon or Reaper. Okay. Those are both good classes, too. The player lost his shit. There was a bit of an argument in game for a while, and he left the game. The DM and his best buddy, which is Son and Chris, made mentions of, hey, if, we, by these rules, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, okay, so, and they're like, we're gonna have to remove you too, and I'm like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong, what's going on? They're like, just leave, and I'm like, okay, fine. The rules they quoted were all from Pathfinder Society. Yeah, they were all Pathfinder Society rules about players shouldn't drive other players away and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, I didn't drive him away. I literally did what my character would do, and he yelled at me out of character. It's not my fault. He's basically being a douchebag.
Yeah, you're not responsible for someone else's tantrum.
Yeah. Like, the dude can fuck off. And the funny thing is, he failed out of law school, and now he's a driver for DoorDash.
Yeah.
Hey, don't lump me in with him.
I'm sorry. That's the job he did. He had high hopes because his goal was to go to law school and finish law school, become a lawyer for a little bit, and then get into politics and create the next American dynasty in politics.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, my dude? Because I looked at it and he goes, what do you mean? I go, my brother in Odin, you are a moderately wealthy family in West Virginia. Your chances of actually getting into politics to the level you want to do, I have a better chance of being hit by lightning a second fucking time. Oh, and yeah, fun story. I have been not directly struck by lightning. I got hit with, those little arcs that come off the bolt?
Yeah.
I got hit with one of those. That sucked. I would say 1 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Sure.
It was definitely the, as I make the pun, an electrifying experience. Okay.
I mean, to learn about you is a little bit shocking. You left yourself open for that one.
Yeah, I did.
All I needed was an outlet.
So my sisters, when they dealt with the situation, and they looked at me and went, "This will explain so many things about your stupid behavior later." Like, thanks. Like, goddamn. Oh, but yeah. So that was my experience with the Pathfinder Society. I will say that not a fan. I have not gotten involved with the D&D version of it. But if I run into kind of the same people who do Pathfinder Society in the D&D version of Society, then I'm just going to walk right out the fucking door. I
say this for like the societies, it's a good way to get like regular people to try the hobby, to like, go outside their regular shells and stuff like that, and get into it.
Right.
However, if you want to like genuinely play a lot of Pathfinder, you should find like a group of people who you agree with and like talk it out, get some ideas from each other, and just go for it.
Yeah,
Come
it
here,
works.
sheep.
It works out so much better. Have you ever tried PoE? Is that Path of Exile?
Path of Exile.
I have not tried this yet. Yeah, no, I have not tried Path of Exile. I will say, by the way, some of the things that have recently come into my collection, and I wonder if it'll let me do it by date. Will it let me do it by date? No, of course not. Okay. I've apparently gotten my hands on a few games that got sent to me. Bravery and Greed. Gamera sent me Hades, which I'll be playing later.
Of course, he sent you Hades.
Of course.
Sorry.
I have tried Path of Exile, by the way, and it felt like Diablo 2 if Diablo 2 was remade by Martians. It's like, yes, this is what those Earthlings find fun, correct? It's just... It's like Diablo 2, but it's got so many other layers and things going on that it's just
Oh my
not
god.
fun.
My sheep just exploded and killed... He left a crater! I had a zombie sheep and he just blew up. And he left a crater. I love that.
I do gotta say, this trial is actually really cool, but it's very much a Final Fantasy final boss. You know how it is, like, level 1, you're saving a kitten from the trees, and then by the
Level
end...
10, you're fighting God.
Yeah, you're fighting God. It's like, fuck.
Level 100, you're saving a kitten from God.
This is from God. Alright. Is your friend going to try PoE 2 when it comes out? Gamera, is that going to be something you do? That way.
I might. I might. It depends on how much time and money I have. I'm more likely to finally get into Diablo 4.
I have yet to play Diablo 3.
Diablo 3 is pretty good. I mean, they did simplify the controls a bit so it could work on consoles, but ultimately I think it ended up in a good place, especially after they removed like the real money auction house and all that crap.
Yeah.
Diablo 4, I was reluctant because of, always online play and all the other bullshit that every game does these days, but it basically hit a sale where it was like 40% off at one point, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and buy it, and I can play it when I want.
Danny, go to bed now. Hey, Think Gibbon. I'm doing fine. How are you, buddy?
There are no bullets left in this gun, you see.
Gamera, are you in a position to do shoutouts?
I can. Yeah, let's see.
All right.
One for Think Gibbon?
Yeah, Think Gibbon, please. Oh, I died.
Oh no.
Okay, Danny,
However, will you...
go to bed, please. Love you. Bye. Gods. He won't
It's
stop.
fine.
Where is the woman? Oh, there she is. Okay, they're gonna collide over there. So I don't need to be in the middle of that. Yeah, this bitch throws planets at you. And then when one planet isn't enough, she rewinds time and makes them collide again.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're calling them now? We're no longer calling them by fruit.
Apparently. Freya says this trial is probably her fave. I mean, this is one of my faves. I will say that. Though, like, I love the Suzaku trial, where the guy is just putting you through a trial of combat just to see if you are sufficiently good at what you're doing, and he actually has no ill will against you. He's just like, come on, friend, let's fight.
Yeah.
I just want to fight you, man.
Yep.
What's so wrong with two bros just fighting each other, fist cuff
Oh, yeah.
style?
Yeah, it was just... Well, he has a giant sword, but yeah.
I mean, you get the idea of what I was trying to go for.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so, lady, are you going to rewind the damn planet or not, please? Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, someone just went off the edge. Bye, Bard.
Oh no, not the Bard.
The stream one with Emic Selk. Oh, which... Oh, you mean Hades? Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Alright. Yeah, that's, Hades. Okay, please stop flowing at me. That would be great. I don't want to be in the black shit. Uh-oh.
But why not?
Oh. Nope. Don't want to be in that. But yeah, so you got to experience some fun things. Anything else that stood out to you when you were at, what was it, Origins, I think it was?
Yeah, Origins. Let's see. I did a couple of board games. Those were fun. I got to play in a Mutants and Masterminds session, which was pretty fun. I mean, my favorite thing to do every year is the Smithy Awards, which is a award show for bad movies. I love that. I eat that up. I did one of the seminars. There was a guy doing a talk about like using AI for like your campaigns. Basically just talking about the tools that are out there and how you can use them in combination to do little things for your, not professional products, but just in use for your campaigns, which was cool. I finally got to play Mysterium, which is a cool board game. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I know of it, but I haven't played it myself.
Yeah, basically the concept is one player is a ghost of a murdered person. The other players are like mediums or seers, and the ghost has a deck of like weird dreamlike symbolism cards, and you are trying to feed clues to the other players using these cards, and it can be like, oh, the murderer for that player is going to be this guy, and he's got like a yellow jacket, so I'm going to use this card that's got a lot of yellow on it. Or, you know, maybe he's carrying a bunch of keys, so this card has a key on it. So you're trying to clue them in without actually using words. It's kind of a neat gameplay mode.
Yeah, I could see that, because there's been video games I've done same thing.
Yeah.
So, I would say that'd be an interesting board game.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. I've been meaning to try it. I just hadn't had time till this year, and it was really cool. There were, you know, a lot of things to buy at Origins. The dealer hall is extensive. I got some pro acryl paints. I got some dirty down paint effects. I got some new brushes. The Goodman Games folks, they published Dungeon Crawl Classics, amongst other things. They were selling the Dungeon Crawl Classics main rulebook for $10. And I was like,
nice.
This is a phone book for $10. It is huge. So I bought two, and just in case I ever run it, I'll have a spare to, like, you know, let people work on characters.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a fantastic deal.
Lady, will you please stop throwing planets at me? That would be appreciated. Oh my god.
Well, you know, she can't help it. You're just too close to her orbit.
Oh, too soon.
But yeah, I basically I had a lot of stuff to do every day, and I made sure to leave myself plenty of time to browse the dealer hall, because like you won't catch Wizards of the Coast there exactly. They don't show up to this one, but like Chaosium always has a big booth, and I bought some stuff there. You got a bunch of dice companies, you've got a bunch of other publishers. Studio 2 Publishing is there, and they are a like a publisher for mini games. So they had like, if you wanted to buy Traveler, if you wanted to buy Savage Worlds, if you wanted to buy, I got one called Outgunned, which is kind of a modern action RPG. Like if you want to run Die Hard or something like that as an RPG, this is kind of an RPG that you would use for that.
Oh, neat. That would be kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have the machine gun now. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. I mean, there was, of course, D20 Modern back in the day that's sort of along those lines, but I think this one is designed more with the genre tropes in mind. D20 Modern was kind of anything in the modern era. We're not really picking a tone here, but
Yeah, well,
If you want to, you can.
yeah.
Alright, so as soon as I'm done fighting this crazy world-ending bitch, I will get into the 2024 stuff, because there's some things involving what we're talking about in the 2024.
Nice.
And it's not necessarily good. Some of it is good, some of it is bad, and some of it is, oh my god, hideous. Alright, lady, throw... Guys, get off each other. There we go. Get close, because I don't want to get hit with the feathers. Euphoria. Okay, what is that? Oh, that's the heads. Okay. Sorry, you can tell I haven't done this fight in a while. What would you say was the best booth at Origins for you?
I mean, I think the one I spent the most money at was, I think they're called Elric's Hobbies. That's where I bought the paintbrushes and the Pro Acryl paints and the, no, just the brushes and the Pro Acryl paints, but they are the company that bought out another one called Secret Weapon Miniatures, who used to have a lot of really cool stuff for miniatures. But they had like a lot of the old Secret Weapon miniatures stock, which was cool to see and have access to. I also, the Studio 2 booth has the widest variety. Like if you're there for RPGs, Studio 2 is the premier place to stop, because they have the publishing rights for so much. And they also bring older stuff that they published in the past and they still have stock. So like, it's not uncommon to see the Buffy the Vampire Slayer RPG from 20 years ago still on sale at Studio 2.
I remember that game.
Really?
Yeah. There was like an anthropomorphic fantasy game around the same time called Iron Claw, and they still had Iron Claw in stock there. They have the new Big Eyes Small Mouth anime game. And just all kinds of weird little role-playing games. There's a new little horror game, and I forget the name of it. But the reason I forget the name of it is because I think it might actually have different names depending on which edition you buy. But it's basically, it's set up to look like a VHS tape, and it's paper sleeve, and it's different horror genres. So like, I think one of them's like Devil in Space, or so basically it's Alien. You're playing Alien. But it's shaped like a VHS, and you open up this little VHS shaped box, and you've got some dice, you've got the little rule book, you've got everything you need to play this little space horror game, which is, I think, just really cool formatting. You got like Traveler, Savage Worlds, like I said, just all kinds of cool stuff at Studio 2. If you're there for RPGs, that is a great place to start. For board games, I would say like there are a couple of companies there that do multiple board games, like Queen Games and Miniature Market had a good selection of board games. There were several good miniature booths, if that was your thing.
What did I say? Go back!
I actually had I got some pictures. I shared them with another Discord I'm in, but I could share them in your Discord as well. They had a 40K Imperial battle cruiser there set up next to a Space Hulk board. And when I say a battle cruiser, this thing was probably 16 feet long and several feet high.
Jesus.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds
yeah.
cool as hell.
Yeah. I'll let me grab my phone and I'll send the pics to the Discord.
One more time. You will not be able to sit on your butt.
I want to say I need to be over here. Nope. Close. Oh, I got out of
I
it.
love
just-
that Oh, that's a lot of knights. But I necromanced a paladin, so I should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, ish.
One of the board games I picked up was called Caution Signs. It's sort of a Pictionary variant where you're getting kind of a yellow diamond caution sign prompt. The top half is an adjective, the bottom half is a noun. So it might be like drunken chef, and you have to draw a little caution sign warning people about the drunken chef, which is kind of fun.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah. Alright, let me pop over to the Discord,
Alright.
into Photo Dump,
And so we go over here.
see what I got. Oh, I'll share another one here. This is a Orcs versus Tau setup with all super heavies.
Oh, geez. Super heavies?
Yes.
Oh, God, that's going to be nutty.
Like, they had a couple of orc mechs there that are bigger than Stompas.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I will look at it as soon as the Espresso Depresso here has been murdered.
Yep. I can throw some other pictures in there of
All right.
things that have just caught my eye, but those are the ones that might be the most relevant to what we're talking about.
Fair enough.
But yes, don't distract yourself from the planet lady.
Yeah, because she's trying to, murder existence, so, yeah. That's a...
Oh god, I might be screwed here. That's a lot.
Please get away from me.
No, paladins.
Oh,
Damn it.
Did we lose? Yeah, we lost again.
Go.
How much more do I... I can resurrect 20 minions at once.
Tomorrow? That looks tomorrow.
I think that's the maximum.
What's tomorrow? Wednesday. Go.
But yeah, I love that convention. I think it or PAX Unplugged is second largest, and the other one is the third largest of the gaming conventions. Gen Con obviously being the first. The attendance numbers for Origins this year were in the 17,000, so they had 17,000 plus unique visitors.
Okay. I might have to consider going to Gen Con next year.
I've always wanted to try Gen Con once. My concern is that there's so many people there in so big a space, I might get overwhelmed. Like, Origins is a lot for me. I usually take the week off of work after Origins because...
To de-stress.
Yes.
Oh, you want to know a convention that I absolutely want to go to?
Sure.
Dragon Con, down in Georgia.
Yes, in Atlanta.
So, yeah. So you want to hear a funny story?
Go ahead.
When I was in basic training, I went down to Georgia to do all that
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of summer. So we're going down to do some like exercises. We're on the bus, and the bus driver is nice enough to turn on the radio for us. So like, we're just all like there.
Yeah.
And then I hear an advert for Dragon Con, and I'm just like, oh, that sucks. And I'm just there like, damn it, I could be going to Dragon Con right now, but I'm stuck here in basic training. Shit. my buddy, he's just like, "What's Dragon Con?" And then I explained to him, all right, so, because he was a nerd, but he didn't really like understand the whole concept of like cosplay and shit. So he asks me, "What's Dragon Con?" It's this big old convention for nerd stuff, but the main attraction is a lot of cosplay contests. So like, I'm talking like from amateur to movie level costumes. These people come to Dragon Con with. And I really want to go there one day, just to like see all the stuff. Like at least one time, I want to go to Dragon Con, so that way I can see just everything there is there.
Yeah, I had a friend who lived in Atlanta for several years, and I was always tempted to go down there. It's more of a general pop culture con, and like you said, the costumes are amazing. Origins does have a costume contest, but it's not something that I tend to pay much attention to. But yeah, Dragon Con is just huge for that. Dragon Con also has like many celebrities from various pop culture properties, which Origins is trying to do more of. Like this year, they had Adrian Pilecki from the Orville and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had Adrian Paul from the Highlander television show. They had a couple of other folks whose names are not immediately coming to mind. But they had also gaming celebrities, like if you know Ed Greenwood, who made the Forgotten Realms, he was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Jonathan Colton, if you're familiar with Jonathan Colton, he was there.
That
doesn't. I'm unfortunately not.
That name doesn't ring bells.
Do you know the song "Still Alive" from Portal?
Yeah.
He wrote it.
Oh.
He also wrote Skull Crusher Mountain, The Future Soon, Re Your Brains. It's basically a comedy song about a zombie office worker trying to convince his non-zombie office workers to let them in to eat their brains. Basically kind of a acoustic comedy folk singer. He also had a concert that I attended the last day of the convention, which was pretty cool.
Okay. We're getting back to the point where we fought her last time and died, so hopefully I will not die this time.
Well, before we get into talking about the D&D stuff, I am going to be right back real quick.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, here we go. What are we doing? Lady, what? Oh, shit! Get out, get out, get out! Fucking crazy-ass bird lady.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
Oh, there's no bullets left in this gun, huh? Well, it certainly sounds like there are.
Observation. This is a great opportunity for slaughter.
Alright, so we're almost got her to that phase again. Gamera, if you could be so kind as to give the support queen a shout out.
Sure.
Alright, now her amulet has come alive and is coming down, so now I have to kill that. And this is going to get close because I'm not doing my best on this thing right now. Alright, thank God. Alright. 10 seconds. Wait until it says 3.
Ooh. Moist Faye Fox is adding a topic to the wheel.
There we go.
All right,
Ruby
I'm
will get on that as soon as he is not in deadly danger.
Yep. If I don't add it this week, I will add it by next week, because that stays in my queue for redeems.
Mm-hmm.
So I will keep that in mind.
What's going on now?
Faye Fox redeemed a add topic to the wheel, which was streamers you'd like to play D&D with. So I'll add it to the wheel, and if it comes up on the wheel... Alright, now I remember this part, someone stops it or something. Because I remember this... And now we get the cutscene.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh no, it's not the end of the fight. There he goes. There's the cutscene. Yeah, all our comrades, pray for us to the light. And she's like, the fuck? Oh yeah, by the way, we're fighting on the back of a giant-ass dragon.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not? Who is, by the way, our main rival? Like, he wants to kill us because, he wants a good hunt, essentially.
Skulls for the skull throw!
Nice of him to give you a ride.
Oh yeah. Inquisition's here.
Well, hello there, Inquisition.
Alright, come on, lady. You need to go down. AP's here! Just so many people. Hey, guys! Oh, I do not want to do that. Dinian, my friend. That's cool. There's Grahatia. The rest of this fight is kind of easy because she can't really do anything to kill you now.
Mm-hmm.
You're being empowered by your friends that fucking much.
Yeah.
Unless you get hit with
Spirit
the...
of friendship. And this gun I found.
Yeah, and this gun I found. Now, the only way you could die in this fight is if the mechanics get you. If you completely ignore the mechanics and get hit with that shit, then yeah. Alright. Someone said something about heresy and I came running. Of course you did. She's about to die. Who's the person that was giving me, like, advice earlier? Tashio, where are you? Did you already leave? No, you didn't. You get it, because you were helpful. Alright, so now I'll go into the D&D shit, because, oh boy, are we gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Alright, I'll go back into the chat room. Because, do I have... display capture up? Okay, yep, display capture can work. It just has the wrong window. So... wait a minute, why can't I... oh, there it is. Primary monitor. Okay, because I'll need that. Alright. You guys ready for some D&D knowledge? Because,
sure.
Oh boy, this is going to get fun. So, 2024's books, that's what they're calling it, even though it's being released in 2025, because fuck timeline, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
all right, we have proven that it doesn't use AI art. All right, they did say that. So there's not going to be any AI art, anything of that nature. I'm going to turn off Final Fantasy for now, and I'm going to change my thing to just chatting. So that way, it's at least in the right tag. All right, there we go. All right, so there's going to be a little bit I'm going to go over, so be prepared. All right, so when I went and did the research on this, the first thing I encountered was Twitter posts, all right, from Wizards of the Coast themselves.
Yeah.
All right. These posts, some of them, the youngest one I found was 6 hours old. The oldest one I found was over 2 weeks. All right. They didn't have any comments on them. And the comments weren't blocked because I was able to comment.
Yeah.
And so I put down a comment in particular. I wonder if I could find my comment again, but something along the lines of like, I am fairly certain that this has been a curated post for the simple fact that there were no comments on it and all that jazz. Let's see. I know I could see it. Where is it? There it is. The fact that this was posted 6 hours ago and no one has responded to it speaks volumes about how curated this post is. There's a 0% chance that no one has seen this and not responded to it. And it was their announcement for the fighter video, like the 2014 to 2024 fighter video, and that was on June 19th.
Right.
And I'm like, you guys curated the shit out of this. Like, because it came from the Wizards of the Coast own Twitter, which has millions of followers.
Yeah.
So it's like, how? So my thought was they probably got some posts that like basically reamed into them and they decided, fuck it. We're going to, delete everything. All right. So there was that. Also on YouTube, all the videos except for the Warlock one, all right, had chat disabled.
Oh no.
For their live stream. So it might not have had chat disabled when they were recording it, but you can't, when you replay it, you can't see chat anymore, except for the Warlock. That also tells me something is up there. All right. So here's some of the information. All right. They're adding more psionics to the game.
Interesting.
All right. A lot of the content that I'm about to go over was grabbed from Tasha's and Xanathar's and literally just got minorly changed, and I mean only by a sentence or two, and then posted into PHB as brand new content. Some of the subclasses got massive reworks. There are 3 new subclasses in the PHB. Circle of the Sea Druid, College of Dance Bard, and Path of the World Tree Barbarian. Every class only has 4 subclasses in the PHB. That's it. Weapon Mastery is now a new thing that applies to every class. It basically... it gives you special abilities based on the weapons you use, as long as you have the weapon mastery with that weapon. For instance, the Great Club allows you to knock people back easier. Stuff like that. There are apparently 75 feats in the PHB. There are origin feats, which mostly are for level 1 characters, but they can be for higher level characters later on. All the fighting styles that were in the classes are now feats. All of them. Which essentially means, congratulations, welcome to Pathfinder. Pathfinder did that.
Yeah.
And they did it better. Inspiration has gotten changed. Instead of giving you advantage, it's a reroll now on any die. Doesn't necessarily have to be a d20. It can be your weapon damage roll, your healing roll, whatever. Any one die, you get a reroll. 1. per inspiration.
Okay.
The PHB works with the 2014 character options. Rose, go away. But the baseline rules are 2024 only, so which means if you're going to include anything...
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
If you're... Go away, child. If you're going to work with anything from 2024, you have to use their core rule set. I know, I love you too, but you should be in bed. Go. You have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So there is that. Goliath, Asimar, and Orc are now added to the PHB. What?
Okay.
Yeah, it's still good. Eat then, child. God damn. They also want to emphasize the races different, well, they're calling them species now, sorry. The species different feel and make each one feel more unique. So basically, like, whatever the general feel you get playing a dwarf, they want to emphasize that more.
Right.
For example, Orc Adrenaline Rush now recharges on a short rest instead of a long rest.
Neat.
ASMR Revelations now are selected every time the ability is used, not at character creation.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean by the revelation?
It's one of their like specific racial abilities. Like you can choose depending on what kind of Azamar you are, right?
Yeah, it's the one where like if you're the there's one type of ASMR, if you turn into your angel form, it causes fear around you and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you can choose which one you pick every time you change now. So they got a bit of a buff. The DMG now, and that's everything from the PHB, by the way. Oh, yeah, I already mentioned the Tasha's Cauldron shit. Okay.
Wait, did you already go over the classes?
I'm about to.
Okay.
I'm going over the books in general first, and then I'm going to go into a deep dive into the classes. The DMG is now bigger. Like, it's a big, hefty book now. Can you refill that with water, please? Or ask Mommy to? Since you just drank all my water, child. The reason behind this is not so much they added a lot of new rules or new information. The majority of this size increase was due to lore, a sample adventure, and a campaign setting put into the DMG.
Huh.
Which campaign setting would you like to guess they went with?
Greyhawk.
Yep.
If they went back to Greyhawk?
They went to Greyhawk. Yep. And there's a reason behind this. And I will state this later on again. But they wanted to have more of a first edition feel and lore.
Okay.
Oh no, not first ed.
Oh, you trust me, when we get later on, you'll understand why this is not a good thing. The lore, they have a whole chapter called Lore Glossary, and it's going over common D&D lore materials, common NPCs, and artifacts. So, like, what Mithril is, what Adamantine is, you know, what Vecna's Eye is, stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay, Vecna's Eye makes sense, but, like, Mithril, Adamantine, like, all you really need for those is that it's just a mineral stronger than steel, or a mineral that's lighter than steel, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to go into like in-depth background unless you're like making the mithril worm shit or something like that.
Who knows? I'm going over what the guy said, and it was the Chris dude that was the one primarily talking.
Okay.
I can't remember his last name, but Chris something.
Was it Chris Perkins?
Perkins, that's it. Yeah. It was Chris Perkins, and there was another guy there. I can't remember both their names. And then there was the interviewer. The interviewer threw them so many softball questions. So many.
I'm sure it was set up as a PR thing.
Yeah. There is now a Bastion chapter. All right. Where characters can start building bastions at level 5. And they're supposed to grow over the life of the entire adventure / career. If this sounds familiar to you, it should.
Yeah.
It's Strongholds.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of like that they're bringing Strongholds back.
Yeah, they're bringing Strongholds back, And they're meant to be, if all your players can't make it, you can send them a message saying, hey, take one Bastion action. And there's a list of actions you can take with your Bastion. The thing I have more of an issue with is your characters don't have to be at your Bastion to control it.
I mean, I could assume that you have a trusted NPC that will run it essentially while you're absent. That doesn't necessarily...
That part doesn't bother me. It's more of, how's the trusted NPC going to know what commands you want to give him?
It's a hand wave for convenience. I don't bother that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you hire someone who thinks the way that you do.
Yeah, usually. There are going to be... the Bastion, by the way, gets turns and downtime. Players need not be there to control it. They are adding more common items in the magic items section.
Okay.
Because they realized there wasn't enough of them.
Good.
Crafting magic items has also been retooled.
Good.
The PHB, they haven't said how, they're just saying it's been retooled. The PHB is getting potions and scrolls, the lower level stuff. DMG has the rest.
Okay.
They have also added samples of new sheets to help plan out games and NPCs, which designs are shown in the DMG. So, like, NPC sheet here, events you want to have happen in your next game here, so on. So, you know, the stuff we usually do on, like, spreadsheets and, like, notepads and stuff.
Sure.
That. It's a formalized version of that. Some of the monsters have had CR adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
And higher level CR monsters are significantly stronger now. Some of the creature types now have been given what's called an Apex version. Love you, Han. Are you gonna kill them? Yep. So some creature types have an Apex version, basically a superpowered version of an example of the type of creature that it is. For example, there is a construct Apex thing that is a giant colossus just going around stomping on shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Apex for abominations is the Tarrasque.
Okay.
Oh, that's neat.
So each creature type has a Tarrasque-like creature.
Neat.
Yeah. So weapon masteries have abilities to unlock as you level, and it's based on your class and weapon selections. So that's a thing. And not all the weapons cause extra damage. Some have other effects that cause conditions or grant or remove advantage.
Gotcha.
Origin feats are pre-game start for, characters that are like background feats. And the arts that's being shown for the origins don't show any people.
Okay.
Like the backgrounds and origins, their feats and the backgrounds, like say you're a blacksmith or something, they show an environment instead of the character. So like if you picked like Charlatan, for instance, it will show like a little circus area, stuff like that.
Okay.
They were trying to move away from basically having people associate a background type with a particular character. So there is that. Feats are now in categories, so they've separated all the feats in that. For example, the Dragonborn Breath weapon is now getting more powerful over time as you level, and the Breath weapon now counts as part of an attack action.
Okay.
So, fun times there. All right, now we'll get into the classes. I'm going in the order they were released for the videos. So the first one is Fighter. All right. Fighter gets more second wins, and they can use it to not only regain health, but can also re-roll ability checks and saves. Fighter gets also more movement abilities, so like some of their second win feat combos allow them to get extra movement and stuff. Surprisingly, Wizards of the Coast actually listened to their Unearthed Arcana complaints and made changes to the Fighter for apparently the better, is what they're claiming.
Okay.
For example, Fighter gets something called Studied Attacks. They get an advantage on attack roll after they've missed a target. So every time you miss a target, your next attack on them gets an advantage.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Then they also, this is when the guy went into the epic boon feats, because that's something you get at level 19. Epic boon feats are like any other feat. But they're really stupidly powerful. Like, if you remember the epic level guide from 3.5,
I do.
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
Ooh.
They also allow you to raise your stats with boons, and you can raise above the 20-point cap for your characters.
Yep.
So the guy was like, "Oh look, we'll have characters with 30 strength or something," and I'm sitting there going, "I'm laughing in Pathfinder at you right now."
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. I have 30 strength, I'm awesome. And I'm like, yeah, that the anti-paladin over there in Pathfinder, yeah, he has 46 strength.
Yeah.
Have a
It
nice
doesn't
day.
make sense. Like, if you want to complain about that, then you're going to have to complain about a lot of the things about D&D in general, because it's just one big old power fantasy.
Yeah. But the other thing I pointed out, though, and this is where I don't think these guys really play the game that often, is because they're like, "Oh, we're playtesting all the time," and I'm like, here's my question to you then. Because one of the things they say is you can keep taking epic boons at level 20, because the way they're working it is after you hit level 20, after so much XP every time, you get another epic boon. How many games hit level 20, and how often do they stay at level 20 for any length of time?
Didn't we stop the last game that we had at like level 18?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, and that's only because we managed to negotiate the big bad, or not big bad, but like our main antagonist to like a ceasefire.
Yeah.
I love high-level games, but yeah, I would say it's relatively infrequent that you hit that tier of play. I'm glad there's something for people who play to that level.
I've only encountered 2 types of games where I've hit that level and gone beyond. One was back in 3.5 because someone wanted an epic level game, but we had to start at like level 10, I think it was.
Looking for something.
Okay, I was just trying to hug you. Okay.
I know.
So there was that. The other one was called the West March game, if you ever heard of that type of game.
I have.
How about you, Umbra?
West March.
Yeah, it's a West March. Essentially, everybody makes characters, and your goal is to take over the area you're playing in. But
Yeah.
But you're not doing it as a team. Every player's against every other player.
I wouldn't characterize most West Marches games that way. You can certainly do it that way, but my understanding of the West Marches concept is you've got your central hub area, you have a relatively untamed area around that, and whoever shows up of the group runs in the adventure. If you don't show up, maybe you're in the next adventure. You can run West Marches groups that have like 30 players and multiple GMs, but essentially it's just like, here's the world to explore, here's your hub, do as you will. And certainly you could do like a let's conquer it, and you could play up the competitiveness between players.
The West March game I was involved in was that second part.
Okay.
Everybody was stabbing everyone else, and the character who lived the longest literally hit epic level. And we kind of got screwed. It was bad. So there is that. So I wanted to point that out. All the fighting styles that were not in the that were not from the basic book for fighter, or let me phrase that, not just for fighter, as feats now, the rest of them are for Tashas and Xanathars. Every single one of them. They did not come up with a new fighting style at all. Nothing. They did some slight tweaks to like the protection fighting style, but nothing new. You can also change your fighting style feats when you level up. Every time you level, you can change your fighting style. Also, surprise rounds are no longer a thing.
That doesn't make too much sense.
They got rid of it. If you surprise your foe, all it does is it gives all your enemies disadvantage on everything. They still get an action, though.
Oh, so it's still kind of a surprise round, just instead of not being able to act, you have disadvantage for that round.
Yeah.
Eh.
Here's the problem. Certain classes don't get disadvantage.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left
On
in this
anything?
gun, see?
I'll be that class.
Oh, no.
This
Not
is
on
a great
anything.
opportunity for slaughter.
On the surprise round. Essentially.
Oh,
on
I
being
see.
surprised.
So essentially you're immune to surprise.
You are immune to surprise. Now, you would think that would be barbarian and rogue and, those kind of things. Right?
I mean, that would make sense.
Fighter gets it too.
I mean, that doesn't terribly offend me, no.
No, it just seems weird to me. Let's see what else. Oh, Champion, if you remember, they get that special ability that makes critical hits easy to accomplish.
Okay.
That now applies on their death saving throws as well.
Huh.
And they also get advantage on death saving throws. So champions are a bitch to kill.
I'll bet.
Eldritch Knight is also one of the classes that they are bringing in with the new PHB. And this guy noted in the fighter section, Eldritch Knight and Arcane Trickster no longer have magic school restrictions.
What's that? What are you talking about?
So there is that. Basically, they buffed fighter. They buffed fighter hard.
I mean, I think that's needed.
Needed. Oh, by the way, I find some of the epic boon feats examples that he gave. You automatically hit when you miss. You can choose to do so once per turn.
Okay.
You get True Sight permanently. You can teleport when you take an attack or magic action. And you can teleport your friends with you.
Neat.
Yeah, that is epic boons. So, I can see why they're a little bit on the broken side because it's level 19. So,
yeah,
nothing, oh my god, awful, but not great. Paladins got a kind of a rework here. Pretty big one. For one, they get spells at level 1 now.
Okay.
They get Lay on Hands at level 1. They get Weapon Mastery at level 1. Divine Smite is now a spell instead of a class ability. But the Paladin class gets the ability to use Divine Smite without using a spell slot once a day. And the guy, I think it was Chris, I'm not sure, it was Chris or somebody else. The guy that was on the camera and was talking about this goes, the idea behind when they were doing this was to encourage paladins to cast spells other than Smite.
Yeah.
And I immediately laughed when they said that. Because I'm looking at it going, if you want them to cast spells other than Smite, make the spells better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, giving them more smites is essentially just telling them smite more often. Because by also making their spell casting at level 1, they're giving them more spell slots.
Yes.
So, fun times there. Paladins now get also Channel Divinity. The uses will increase. They get 2 uses per day. A short rest regains 1, a long rest regains 2, and they get 3 of them instead of 2 at level 11. Divine Sense is now no longer a 1-round class ability. It is now a Channel Divinity option, and it lasts for 10 minutes. At level 5, they get Divine Steed spell for free, and they get 1 free use of it per day. How am I feeling today? I'm doing okay. We're going over the fun D&D notes. You know what? I'll pull up his picture because... Okay, no, I didn't want the website. I wanted the picture. Thank you. There we go. I'll pull that up. And see if I can't... You know what? I have a better idea. Maybe I'll do... Yeah, I'll do MMO. So that way we're in the corner. God damn it. I am clicking on all the wrong things. Here we go. And I will do... Really?
What?
Oh, I forgot to put display capture on here. There we go. And I want to move that down. Down. There we go. So that way we appear on the bottom. All right, so there's a fighter. There we go. Paladin. Paladin fighter, whatever. Same thing in general looks, appearance. So yeah, Divine Sense, you can now sense things for 10 minutes. They did this to make Divine Sense more useful in a social setting. So there's that. You get one free use of the Divine Steed for free. Steed also gets a more powerful based on the spell slot you used. And it has its own stat block now instead of just the animal stat block. And there goes Umbra.
Yep. We have at least temporarily lost Umbra.
Yep. All paladins get this ability called Abjure Foes, which is essentially the Vengeance Paladin ability, Abjure Enemy. It's you choose one creature within 60 feet of you can see. Creature makes a wisdom saving throw unless it's immune to being frightened. Fiends and undead have disadvantage on the throw. On a failed save, creature is frightened for 1 minute until it takes any damage.
There we go.
Yep. All paladins get that now. All of them. Paladin auras have been changed. So instead of you getting like a selection of auras that all do different things, you get one aura and it does everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's a little potent. They also have a new AoE term. They said, oh, it's an old AoE term that just didn't have a name, and it's like Emanation. The AoE is target within certain radius is affected.
Oh,
Okay.
Fireball.
Well, no, within radius of you.
Right. So like an emanation.
Yeah. So I get it. All the spell lists for now, the Paladin, the Warlock, and the Ranger are in the class section, not in the spell section. Damn it, AP. The Oath spell list has also been changed. They have different spells on them now. And you get all of those spells and them being prepared automatically. And they don't count against your spells per day, essentially. For Devotion Paladin, Sacred Weapon is now an attack action instead of a standard action. Thank you, Gamera.
Yeah.
You asshole.
I just thought you deserved a little brain break after, talking about all these game details.
Yeah. If you guys have any comments, please make them. All right.
I am thinking... Ah, you little shit. Someone took the Pyramid of Giza from me.
Oh, okay.
I will say that so far, I mean, the fact that they didn't add much new other than what was from Xanathar's and Tasha's doesn't surprise me a lot. Basically, when they started doing 1D&D, anything that strayed off the path too far, they were getting big pushback on. So the fact that they've retreated to what they consider these are safe changes does not surprise me.
No, not at all.
It's cowardly, but it is what they heard from their audience that their audience wanted.
All right. So I'm not going to go through every ability. I'm just going to do a little bit of more of a roundabout thing. Most of the Paladin abilities that were standard actions are now bonus actions. They really pushed more bonus actions to give martial classes something to do with that bonus action.
Right.
So there is that. They buffed the hell out of Oath of Glory. That's in there. And Oath of Vengeance, that avenging mark thing that we have. When the target dies, you can move it now. You didn't used to be able to do that.
Cool.
Barbarian got a bunch of reworks too. And it's now easier to maintain rage. in order to maintain rage in 5th ed, you guys remember, you have to be hit or you have to hit something. In this new version, it's anytime you hit a target, get hit by a target, force an enemy to make any saving throw,
Right.
or you can burn a bonus action to maintain your rage.
Okay.
So, basically, once barbarians go into combat, unless there's a reason why they must spend their bonus action, I foresee a lot of barbarians just using it to maintain rage, unless they hit something.
Right.
It is what it is. Barbarians also get the ability to use their strength for multiple skills instead of the standard stat. And it's referred to as primal knowledge. And some of those skills are actually knowledge skills.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
A barbarian knowing things?
Yeah, only when they're in rage. It only applies when they're in rage.
I think better angry.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm so mad that I can design an architectural masterpiece.
You see here, in my thesis on why you are incorrect, sir.
But you understand why I'm looking at this primal knowledge and just, it's ridiculous. I'm laughing at it. It's like...
I think it's goofy, but like in the type of goofy, like along the same vein of, yes, I am a bard necromancer. I am the necrodancer.
Yeah.
I am seeing Martin Luther, the famous, reformer of the Catholic Church that led to Protestantism, who nailed his theses to the church door, just like getting really angry and nailing his theses to some guy's face.
He just has a fucking warhammer instead of a regular one. You see here, these are the reforms we need. This is what we need.
Yeah, this is what we need. Jesus Christ. Danger sense no longer requires line of sight, and it only turns off now when you're incapacitated. They changed brutal critical and all of the things that are tied into it. Instead of activating on a crit, it activates whenever you use reckless attack. Mm-hmm. And you give up some of the attack ability, like you give up your advantage, and instead do a crap ton more damage.
Yep.
So that's how it works. They changed Frenzy. Frenzy no longer gives exhaustion.
Okay.
But instead, it's every time you use Reckless, you deal more damage. And also, Mindless Rage also got a change, where instead of Charm and Frighten being suppressed, it just ends it entirely. Mm-hmm. So there's that. There's a few other minor changes about how to intimidate foes and so on and so forth. Then there's Path of the Wild Heart, aka what we know as Path of the fucking Totem Warrior. Mm-hmm. Basically, you choose what totem effects you use when you rage, not when you level up now.
Okay.
Okay, that gives them a lot more diversity.
Yep. And none of the animal options repeat themselves. So, like, at different levels, it's not like level 4, bear, level 8, bear, level 9, bear, like stuff like that. Every time you get animal choices in the level options, they're all different animals. They did that because people were apparently getting confused that they didn't have to take the same animal every time.
Oh, okay.
So there is that. Then there's the Path of the World Tree Barbarian, which is the new one. This little bitch gets teleportation. A lot.
Neat. Cool.
They are a support/tanking barbarian. And they can force all their weapons to have reach.
Huh.
Because, like, roots will come out of their weapon and, like, grab people and shit. Not only can they teleport themselves, they can teleport their allies, and they can teleport their enemies to them. So if you ever wanted to live out your scorpion fantasies, you can now fucking do that with a barbarian.
As a barbarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is,
I mean,
there is no rogue or ninja-like character in this game that can do that. It's the barbarian that gets the "get over here" ability.
I mean, I recently watched a dude in a video who made a whip out of a hammer.
Oh yeah.
Like, he made a hammer whip, literally knocked down a tree, so the idea of a barbarian just hurling his fucking hammer and then pulling you towards him does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. They did change the Zealot Barbarian as well. They lost the ability to have no cost from Raise from the Dead. And instead, you are now given a pool of dice that you can use to heal yourself. That is what it does now. They get rerolls with one of their other abilities, and that reroll gets bonuses. And then their capstone ability is they no longer need to hit level 0 to gain the benefits of their Rage of the Gods. Instead, as soon as they hit Rage of the Gods, they gain damage resistance to all damage, and they can also apply that to the people around them. So your barbarian can get so angry that your cleric takes less damage.
Yeah.
It's like, the fuck is this? But I find it amusing. I don't hate it. It's just more of that seems weird, but cool. They didn't change Rogue, by the way. This is the next class I'm going to talk about. They didn't change Rogue much. Oh, hey, Dresden. How's it going? Thank you for 100 bits for Biddy, the owlbear. He'll play with those and probably eat them later. So, that'll be fun. Rogues now get an ability called Cunning Strike. They give up sneak attack damage to either poison a target, trip a target, back off in melee, knock out the target harmlessly, knock him down, all that jazz. And AP just gave 100 bits to Biddy. Oh no, you guys started a hype
As
train.
I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
God damn it.
This is what happens when you have an owlbear that functions off of bits.
Yeah, it's true. They gave Rogues Reliable Talent at an earlier level. Rogues now get something from Tasha's called Steady Aim. And there's another 300 bits for Biddy. Oh my god. I swear that owlbear's going to be pooping glitter for the next week.
Sounds like a personal problem.
And there's another 100 from AP. You guys are 75% to the way to the goal. God damn. Oh, we're at 756 bits out of 1,000. And there's Dresden with another 100. Oh my god. Oh.
You're a pacifist. Why are you attacking me?
By the way, Rogues get Slippery Mind. That Slippery Mind no longer does what it used to. Instead, it gives advantage to Wisdom and Charisma saves.
Okay.
Assassinate works a little differently now. They get advantage on initiative, and their extra damage is based on who has not acted yet in the initiative. Dresden's like, I can do this all day. Oh, no.
Oh, Dresden.
Oh, no. Assassins also get Envenom weapons, which means they can deal more damage with poisons, and they ignore poison resistance when using Cunning Strike. Death Strike no longer requires surprise. Death Strike requires you to just have a sneak attack in the first round of combat. So, a little easier to accomplish. How have you been, Pasta? I've been fine. I've been doing okay. I'm surviving. Arcane Trickster really they haven't touched it really much. Other than their Cunning Strike makes them able to trip people, and they no longer have a magic school restriction. Thief also hasn't changed much either. Their changes were mostly they can activate magic items as a bonus action. They get 4 attunements now instead of 3, and they have a chance to avoid using charges on a magic item when they use it. That's Rogues for you. Dresden, ever played first edition Pathfinder? My brother and Saren Ray. I have played that quite prolifically. And I think both of us, all three of us here, have done that. I think you would agree, Gamera and Umbra?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Warlocks, by the way, get some cool stuff. Mostly more invocations are now apparent. Umbra, you remember the Warlock pack boons?
Yeah, Pact of Chain, Pact of Tome, and Pact of Blade?
Yeah, they're all invocations now.
Really?
Yeah, which means you can take all three.
That doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, but you can take all three now.
Oh no, don't...
Warlock's got a hell of a buff. I was always a huge fan of 3.5 and Shadowrun. We like Pathfinder over 3.5, I will say that. Pathfinder First D is just a far better version of 3.5 in my opinion, and Gamera has agreed with me on this on several occasions.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't played Shadowrun.
I haven't played it, but it looks like a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
I do want to eventually play it.
Yeah. All right, I will say this about the Warlocks, though. Archfey got a huge buff. Great Old One got a huge buff. They both got giant buffs. All right, that were needed. That puts them now on the same level as Fiend and Celestial. Though Fiend did get a slight buff, their Fiendish resistance, magical weapons no longer bypass your resistances.
Okay.
I can DM if you want. I might consider that. And the Great Old One, best way to describe it, you are now way better at... or at least making other people do that. Other than that, the cool thing that Great Old One gets is any illusion or enchantment spell you cast, you don't have to use Verbal's Hermetic components. Because it's all about, like, sending your mind out. Oh, and, there's a new spell called Summon Celestial and Summon Aberration. Like, each creature type kind of got their own little summon thing. Summon Celestial is basically planar ally. Let's be brutally honest. Summon Aberration allows you to summon a Mind Flayer.
Oh, yeah, because you want to summon a Mind Flayer.
Oh, yeah. That's a fucking thing.
Why would you want to summon a Mind Flayer, though? Like, it doesn't make sense.
All right. So, one of the first things I wanted to point out to people is this is the cover of the new book. God damn it. I said I wanted open link address. Nope, it's not going to let me. It's going to force me to go to Imgur. Thanks, guys. All right. So, this is the cover of the PHB, one of them.
Yeah, that's probably the premium cover, I'm guessing.
That is the premium cover, and apparently the gold dragon kind of like glitters and shit. On the cover, they made it all sparkly and shit. That does not seem like a gold dragon to me.
I do think it reads as a stylized gold dragon.
Yeah.
It is different, but it's fine.
Yeah, and then this is the other cover.
Yeah, that's the one I've seen.
Oh yeah, I don't like what they did with the dragons.
Yeah, they did some heinous things. Let me look at, where is it? I think it's Tiamat.
Oh, don't talk about Tiamat.
Yeah,
no.
we're gonna pull up Tiamat because this is fucking horrifying.
Not Tiamat.
Those are the new dragon heads.
I don't like it. The desert-dwelling dragon looks like he's supposed to be in the ocean. The fucking black dragon looks like it's just a goat head. You can't even see the green dragon, but you can already tell it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
The only one that looks somewhat okay is the red dragon, but the red dragon, again, it's hard to fuck up the red dragon.
Yeah, here's another picture of the Tiamat. But that's the old picture.
I'm scared of what you're about to throw at me.
All right, let's watch this. Ready? Dragons. Watch this.
Oh no! Oh no! What are you doing?
All right, you remember you said you can't really fuck up a red dragon too much?
Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Ruby.
I mean, I don't see much of a problem with this one.
It-
It's a little chunkier.
It's a little chunkier. Oh, yep, bit goal achieved. Thank you so much, everyone, for the bit goal. Damn. Jeez. Thank you, Dresden. All right. So, yeah, it's a slightly chunkier dragon, but not terrible. All right. Then we hit the bronze dragon. And his neck is chunk.
Oh, God. Okay. So my whole thing with dragons is they're supposed to be more of a feline shape. This looks like a fish.
Yep.
This looks like you gave a koi fucking legs and told it go do a crime.
Yep.
And no one decided, hey, let's just oh God.
All right. Here's where I'm gonna have a little bit of issues with this one. All right. The head I don't have so much of a problem with. The arms and the legs. The tail seems a little weird, but not terrible. It's the fact that they have 2 sets of wings.
Huh.
Why? Why do they have 2 sets of wings? They're an aquatic dragon. They're a swamp dragon. They do not fly that much.
Well, it could be that they have. Well, it's not really 2 sets of wings. It is a split wing because it's off the same musculature and skeletals. I would guess that this could help them swim. You could use them as interdependent fins.
But here's the thing. They live in swamps. The water isn't that deep.
Some places in the swamp, connects to rivers and lakes and oceans and shit.
Yeah.
So.
We'll give them that. Like, if you want to, you could have a brass dragon in the ocean. Because, like, some might just prefer the salt water. Some might prefer fresh water. Some might just be like, hey, black dragon, fuck you. This is my turf now.
Is this the new green?
This is the new green.
Oh.
The biggest
freaky.
Yeah, I know. The one that, like, the one part that bothers me, there are 2 parts in particular that bother me. One is the head section where it has that little fun colored flap thing. It's like, that's off-putting for me. And then I love this one. It says maple leaf shaped wings to blend into tree canopies. I'm sorry, how big is this thing again?
Well, if it's a baby.
Yeah, a baby, I might see that, but when it gets full grown like this bitch, it shouldn't have that anymore. That should be growing out of it.
I mean, I will say I do appreciate the aesthetic idea of, oh, it mostly dwells in forests. It's got more of a leaf-like wing.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit cool. I do agree with the whole idea of, oh, if you're a baby dragon, this will help you with camouflage. But my whole thing is just, I don't know if the 2-forked tail and, like, the spines.
I was going to say, the spines on the head are really the only thing that doesn't work for me at all.
The other thing that didn't work for me was the fins on the legs. Because
those don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. This thing doesn't swim ever.
I think greens are the other aquatic type, like in older editions. Blacks and greens are the ones that swim.
I want to double check. You might be right, but I don't. Yep, you're right. They swim. Okay, so that doesn't bother me so much anymore then. I thought I mistake myself, and I was like, I thought this was one of the ones that don't swim, and I'm like, why does it have fins?
No, there are 2 chromatics with swimming abilities, and this is one of them.
And then we have the white. And the white be chunk.
Okay. I mean, all of these are heavily redesigned, and I would not have expected them to go that hard. I like a lot of what I'm seeing here, but it is weird to see them after multiple editions of dragons kind of, having a consistent appearance.
Yeah. Now, they said the reason why they did the redesign of the dragons, and this was the primary reason behind it, They did it because they wanted it that if the picture was in black and white, you could still tell what kind of dragon it is.
I mean, I felt like you could with the previous designs, just based on the heads in particular. I felt like the heads of the chromatic dragons were pretty distinct in 3.5.
Yeah.
But making them more distinct, I do not have an objection towards.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a dragon.
Is that a silver or a platinum?
I'm not sure which. It doesn't say.
I love the reflection effect, though.
Yeah. Umbra will know what I'm getting at when I say this. You ready for this?
Sure.
Excuse me, Wizard of the Coast. Kishora Diora wants its fucking skin back.
It's funny you say that because I based the Kushaladora that I painted a little bit off of a silver dragon.
Yeah.
Like, in order to get the scales, like that silvery bluish color, I looked at a silver dragon and I'm like, okay, this is good. And then I compared it to Kushaladora and I'm just like, all right, I can make this work. And then I did.
Yep. I'm trying to find a few of the others because there's a few more that I know they've done pictures of. And it's just like, this is so weird.
Have they done a blue yet?
I think so. That was what I was trying to pull up. That's red. This is another version of the red. This looks like a red dragon to me.
Yep.
I have no problems with this one. I like the idea that the arms and the legs are singed from the fire breath. That was kind of cool.
Yep.
I like that concept. I have no problems with the red dragon. But as Umbra said, it's hard to fuck up a red. This is the blue.
Interesting.
Don't like the blue. It looks aquatic.
It has a trident tail for air navigation. The scales are supposed to crackle with electricity all the time.
Okay, that's cool, but like at the same time, it looks like it's supposed to be an eel rather than like a desert dwelling creature.
I like the wing design though, because it does make sense for a desert creature. A lot of desert flying creatures have this wing shape.
Yeah, no, the wing is fine. It's just the rest of it looks like it's supposed to be underwater.
Yeah. And there's that. I think I already did copper, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's gold.
Which one's... Yeah.
That's another black. I found the gold.
Okay, let's
see what we got here. Yeah, this is.
You've only got about 10 minutes left, by the way.
I got 10 minutes. All right, cool. So I'll cover this real quick. This is the gold. Not a fan. That tail is stupidly long.
I would definitely lengthen the wings and shorten the tail.
Yeah, by a lot. I would cut the tail in half and double the size of the wings.
But I think that they have clearly tried to use more Eastern Oriental design dragon.
For that, yeah.
For this.
Yeah, it was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's the black again. I was trying to see if I can't find the silver. Because that was the, one of the ones I heard people really complaining about. Oh, so that metal one was the silver.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a silver dragon.
I don't really have a problem with that.
That seems a little too metallic for me. Like, tone it down just a little.
Artist interpretation. This is not a monster manual picture. This is a, splash page.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the monster manual, things of that nature. Here's another version of it, apparently. That looks like an early version of the monster manual.
This one says Fizban's Treasury on the link you clicked, so I think this is from 5e.
5e? Okay, that's 5e then.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, Papa Hollow, 8 months of Pyromania. Hope you're doing well, Ruby. I'm doing fine. That's someone's rendition of it.
8 months of Pyromania.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun.
Here's the
you see?
miniature. So yeah, it's super metallic. Oh boy. What is it?
I'm amused by Papa Hollow's entry.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think I'd particularly noticed it before.
Yeah. So yeah, that is D&D, man. That's some of the new stuff. The good, the bad, and what I call the ugly. A lot of the dragon designs, they're not the worst, but man, they really could use some help. And a lot of the PHB and DMG art that has been leaked so far, very kind of like gives me Alice in Wonderland feels.
Uh-huh.
And I get that. And one of the artists, like, he was in a video, he made a comment, he goes, I want this to be the type of book you see on a shelf that's been there for years, and it kind of fits in with all the other books, kind of like fairy tale books and stuff. And I'm like, I'm okay with that kind of general idea, but the covers could really have used some work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with the concept. Not so much the execution.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that I enjoyed about the 3.5 books was that they looked like something you would pick up in like an adventurer's hall, like the PHB. It would be something like some newbie adventurers would pick up at their local adventuring guild and be like, okay, so we do this and this and this. And like, it's sort of like the starting companion. It's a little book that you take with you on your adventures, and as you like level up and you grow in experience, you don't need it as much.
Oh yeah. But like the newer books just seem like they're going for the storybook idea, and I don't know if it's working for them or not. But here's my thoughts on the 2024 books and things of that nature. I am not purchasing them.
I don't think I'm going to be purchasing them either.
I've got a good collection of 5th edition. I've got Pathfinder 2e. I've got other games. I may eventually get around to them if I get a deal on them, but I'm not going to jump in on these anytime soon.
If anything, I'm going to collect the PDF. I'm going to find a copy of the PDF either through a friend or something and use it like it's an errata book. I have a bunch of 5th ed books already. All I'm going to do is just collect the information from the book and use it like an errata.
Okay.
And because, let's be brutally honest, that's all this book is. It's a $60 errata book. Yeah, the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual, and the DMG are each $60.
Yeah.
If you bundle them together, I think it's like $150.
That's not a great price for getting people to buy in.
Yeah, no. I think, honestly, they screwed up. They should have just... Because they've taken a lot of stuff from Tasha's and Xanathar's already, and Mordekainen's, and essentially putting it into Player's Handbook and going, look, we made new stuff. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Everybody has these books already. Piss off.
You see, my thing is, I do want more people to be into D&D. I feel like getting as many people in here as possible would be good for the whole setting, because it would get so many different perspectives, so many viewpoints.
Right.
But at the same time, like, if the cost of getting more people into D&D is spreading yourself too thin, taking out things that make certain systems work, or just flat out changing things to the point where there's really no point at all, it doesn't make sense. Like, the whole idea behind the Warlocks, for an example, was you chose between one of 3 pacts.
And that
was your, like...
And that flavored your Warlock.
Yeah, it defined who your Warlock was. Like, are you going to be more of the Oogie Spooky, I'm summoning Cthulhu type warlocks with the Pact of Tome? Or are you going to be one of the more, like, combat-focused warlocks with the Pact of the Blade, where you're, like, charging forward into the combat and, like, whispering dark oaths to your god or patron or whatever, so that way you can survive the night?
Just to let everybody know in chat, the first raid message is for the tavern visitors. The second raid message is for the tavern patrons. All right? So please use those when we raid out, which we're going to raid in like a couple of minutes. So just to give you a heads up.
All right.
All right. I would say out of all the classes that they made changes to, I'm happy that they're buffing martial classes. They needed a buff. I'm glad at least I could stop in and say hi. Papa, I always like when you show up, aside from the fact that you set fire to the place.
At this point, I just have create water in a scroll all the time.
Yeah. Oh, my golems can cast create water.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Their whole point is to go around and put out the fires. Damn it.
Oh, there he goes.
Yep.
You should have had a create water
emote. Yeah. Either way, tomorrow, everyone, I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy VIII until I get a 5,000 gold redeem for Wildcard Wednesdays. I'm going to be stuck playing Final Fantasy VIII until I finish the game. And in which case, I will then pick a game to play unless someone picks something.
What if we picked Final Fantasy VIII all over again?
No. Once I beat a game, it gets crossed off the list.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So that way I can't have, like, for example, if I didn't do that, Mark would have kept having me play Dragon Age over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I hope to see you all tomorrow for Wednesday, for Wildcard Wednesday, where I'll play Final Fantasy VIII. Until then, take care of yourselves, and I know you come to my wonderful Resplendent Tavern for the witty banter, but you stay for my fuck-ups. Toodles.
Poodles.
Evo Ruby, Mad Hatter's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. Oh, Ruby streams with laughter bright. By the glowing screen we set our sight from fantasy.